All right, what's going on, guys? And today we're going to be doing a review on the 2018 Honda Civic Type R. This is my aunt's car, so she let me borrow it for the video. So I went ahead and cleaned it up for her, and we're going to be talking about some of the interesting things I find about it, as well as taking it for a quick ride. So starting off with some of the interesting facts. For the 2018 year, the fastest production front-wheel drive car around the Nürburgring. It also has 306 horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque. So it's pretty quick and it handles really well. Now when you're talking about the 2018 Type R, you obviously got to talk about the looks. They've calmed it down a bunch with the new one, but I still think it's actually really cool. It's a real controversial whether people like it or not. After a trip down to the Tail of the Dragon with my aunt, having to see in the car for over a week, I kind of got used to it, and I really dig the looks now because it does look really cool. There's so many different lines in the car. I think it makes it really fun. So the final thing I wanted to mention about the exterior is the rims. So it's got a little pinstripe around there. I think it looks really good. However, they did have a lot of issues with these rims being 20 inches. So these rims are 20 by 8.5. And then with the 20-inch rim, you have a really small profile tire. So that created a lot of issues. A lot of people had problems with bending rims. And actually, on our way down to the Tail of the Dragon, my aunt had accidentally hit a pothole. It just came out of nowhere and busted one of her rims. So we didn't find out until we got about halfway down there. But yeah, we ruined one of her rims because there's just not that much sidewall on them to really protect it. But what I find interesting about that is that they actually went down a size with the new 2023 Type R. They actually went from a 20 to a 19, so you got a little bit more sidewall, and they actually went wider. So they went from an 8.5 wide rim to a 9.5 wide. So that's pretty freaking wide for a factory car. I mean, this thing handles like insane, so I can't believe they actually went even wider on the other one. Overall, it's a super impressive car. I love to drive it. I haven't got to drive it much, but I did get the chance to drive it down at the Tail. And around here, it's just the perfect daily because you can drive it, you know, normal, or you can drive it really aggressive. The thing handles like a dream. And that's about it for the exterior. So let's go ahead and dive into the interior before we go ahead and take it for a ride. All right, so I first wanted to show the display. I think it's really cool. And then going into the display, you can see that there's 3 different options. If you look in the very top left corner, there's comfort, there's sport mode, and then there's plus R, which that is the most aggressive mode, and really stiffens up the suspension. It's pretty crazy how you can feel how much different the suspension feels from Type R mode to comfort. And then there's also a lot of cool like menu options for this car. So you can see we had the fuel mileage there. Then you have like G-force, so you can see exactly how much the car is pulling to the left and the right, and then front, forward, and back. It's really neat. And then there's also a shift light, so you can see when to shift. And also a boost gauge. And I think the highlight of the interior is the seats. So they've got really cool like racing seats that also have red seat belts. I think that looks sick, especially on the blue. I think the blue and red pair really well on the car. But yeah, overall the interior is really simple and has just a really overall aesthetically pleasing look. All right, but let's go ahead and take it for a ride. Pretty cool. Like right off the bat you can tell like how heavy the steering is and the shifting. It's crazy how short the shifts are. And how light the clutch pedal is. The clutch pedal is like super light. And it's not loud by any means, but it is, it's got a nice little growl to it. But that is like one of my favorite things, is the rev matching for the downshifts. You can hear it. And I didn't move my right foot from the brake. It just rev matched for me. So I didn't have to move my right foot from the brake to give it some gas. And just so smooth going into every gear. It's got a really cool feel to it. And the steering is super stiff. It's got one of the stiffest steerings of any car I've ever driven. But that's what's so cool about the car is, you know, you have all these different settings that actually you can notice a difference between the three settings. And then now that I'm in comfort, you know, it's like pretty much like the ultimate daily. I think it is one of the coolest cars under 100 grand. See if you guys can hear outside the car sound. Yeah, the car's got like the perfect amount of feel that it's like fun, but it's not like overwhelming or anything. It's just like the perfect little bit of punch. And then the fact that it handles so well, and without even like braking hard or anything, just, you know, normal driving, the brakes are so powerful on this. I think the biggest noticeable difference between the settings is like the suspension. The suspension seems a lot less sensitive. Still really sensitive compared to a normal car, but not as aggressive. But it is cool because people do look at you. It's like you have a supercar, and it is rare, so it does make it really feel like a supercar. And all the little extra fancy stuff, like just the feel of the car, the looks, and the extra accent red inside the interior. There's a lot of little stuff that makes the car feel really special. The seats are really neat because they look awesome and they like hug you like a race car seat. Yeah, this thing is fun. It handles so good. And the steering's so aggressive, you barely turn the steering wheel one way or the other. And it just goes. One thing I haven't really seen is like the visibility out of it's really well too. I can see pretty much all around me. There's no real blind spots that I've noticed. It's cool, you can hear like the turbo just a little bit. I bet an intake would make it sound way louder. Breaking into a corner. Yeah, this thing feels awesome. I don't know if it'll pick it up on camera, but you can slightly hear the turbo blow off. It sounds cool. Yeah, this thing's fun. This thing is so smooth, even though it's stiff. It's just so smooth compared to some other cars that I've driven. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and take this car back to my aunt, get it home safely. But let me know what you guys think about these car reviews, whether you think they're interesting or not. But I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.